Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about developing your decision-making skills and the importance of making a decision. I'm Brady Nash, and this is The Accidental Entrepreneur. So I wanted to break out three areas. I thought about all the different questions and decisions that people really get hit inside of the business world. And I actually had three examples that I was going through recently that were super relevant and on my mind. I wanted to go through with you today. So we're going to talk about the first one, technology, and the technology you decide to use in your business. When do you get new technology? How do you evaluate that technology? When do you choose to spend money on that tech, right? When you get super used to something, it can be painful to change, right? I mean, we know that we shouldn't be scared of change, but you don't want to change just to change, but you also want to make sure you're not getting stuck in your ways. It's like, where's that balance, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So recently, we made a huge change. We've been on G Suite, Google services, well, since we've started. So I've been on it for about 16 years, since I was 18 at the time of shooting this video. And we recently acquired a company that was a big Microsoft shop. They're a reseller of Microsoft services. And the reality was G Suite at this time limited in some of the enterprise business services that we had. Even though we've been super efficient on Google, they've developed and it's grown a lot. We just knew that if we're going to be reselling it, we should be using the stuff that we're reselling, and that it would unify all of the companies, right, that we were on. Even changing, we used to be on QuickBooks, we're moving to now Business Central because it does multi-company, right? Underneath of the B&G umbrella, we have several companies. So it'll save our accounting team tons of time versus manually logging into every different QuickBooks file. So it's a needed thing we've been pushing off that we're finally committed to doing. So when you're evaluating the technology, you need to make a list, right? Just like any decision. What are the positives? What are the pros? What are the cons? What is the opportunity? All the good things that can happen by making the change? What are the risks? What are the downsides? And so it's really just kind of developing a scale, right, of what does that look like? And ideally, the good way outweighs the negative. And then also, once you figure this out, of timing might be a part of this. It's like, hey, this is worth it, but now it's not the time. We've got this project going on and we can't dedicate the resources to doing it, right? So when we acquired this company, and we knew that we're going to want to move to the Microsoft stack, it just made too much sense. But I was dreading it. Even though I knew it was the right decision, I didn't want to do it because I was so comfortable and I was so efficient at everything I was doing. But I knew with the long-term vision of where we wanted to go, it was the right solution, right? And so we moved here actually just this month at the time of shooting this video. And there was some pain. Our team did a really good job. We worked on communicating, but moving over calendars, moving over our email, which worked pretty well. But we had so many different software integrations integrated, even with single sign-on like Trello and Slack and Schedule Once, which is a calendar scheduling tool. Not everything was going to migrate perfectly. So it was a big decision. So we worked with the team. There's a lot of heartburn. We had different departments that used it differently, that were super worked up and really not excited about this change, rightfully so. Which I'm glad that they care, knowing that, hey, how is this going to work? Because they don't want to mess up their job, right? They don't want to not be able to take care of our clients or be slow to respond. So it was all coming from a spot of excellence, of wanting to continue to be really good at what you're doing. So it was a process of communication, with our team. Is the process of explaining why we were doing it and how this was going to help them in time. Not that it was going to be perfect day one, but I really believed inside of even a couple weeks, maybe a month at max, that will be just as efficient, if not more efficient, how this was going to allow us to scale and grow. So again, that's a bigger example for us of why we were doing it. We knew that we wanted to continue to build and grow. We were going to be hiring hundreds of more employees in the coming years. We knew that we needed the security functions that Microsoft had offered. And we also wanted to eat our own dog food. Anything we use, we end up becoming power users on, which also means we'd be able to help our clients in the businesses we serve better by being on that stack. So when you look at technology, what is the cost? How is it going to help you? Is it improving your time? Is it removing redundant tasks? Is it automating something that you have to do manually now? You got to figure out, what is that time worth? Is it your time? Or is your time worth $10 an hour, $20 an hour, $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour? What's your time worth? How much is it saving you? Or an employee or someone on your team, how much time is it saving them? Also, is it doing a task that people don't like to do? There's the happiness part of, right? Oh my gosh, someone can do it. It's not that it's hard, but it's very redundant and it makes them dread doing that part of the job. So there's value in that. There's value in what would that time free up allow you to do for opportunity. Maybe it's another sale. We have a product called Connect Booster that automates the billing process. People can manually do this. They've been manually getting paid for a long time. But why? Why chase down invoices? Why have to make those calls? They're not fun to get collection calls. If you're a tech company, our sales pitch is, why wouldn't you use technology to get paid? So just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. So early on in your business, you need to find ways to leverage technology to free up your time, because this time's the one thing that's finite, right? It's like we can't get more of it. Well, you can get some of this back if you use proper technology in different areas of your business to scale and grow. I understand day one, you can't go and spend thousands of dollars on all this software, right? That's not smart. But as soon as you can, you need to steadily be finding ways to automate and streamline your life. Schedule Onces was another tool that we use. Like if you and I wanted to book a meeting together, you guys ever have those emails where it's like hey, when are you free? Well, I'm available Tuesday and Wednesday, Tuesday from 9 to 2 and Wednesday from 3 to 4. And by the time they respond back to you, that time had already filled up. Like, well, it was available. Now it's not because you took 12 hours to respond to me and someone filled it up. It's slow. It's like a painful process. So we had a tool that accesses our calendar real time, so I can send it to you and you can see when you're available and see when I'm available. You just book it right then and there. So it's immediately filled. So it saved the back and forth. We probably spend $1,000 a month on that technology for our company, but it reduces the amount of time. It's worth it. It's the best $1,000 we spend. I love it. A lot of people think $1,000 to schedule meetings, it's worth it. How many more deals we've closed and how much time, how much more efficient we can be with our vendors, our partners, and customers. So again, whatever decision you're looking at around technology, it's just a simple sheet of write down the pros, the cons, the cost, and make sure you're understanding what your time is worth. Because a lot of technology is typically things of simplification, meaning how's it automating things? How's it storing things or allowing you to be more efficient? So that's what my suggestion would be, is make sure you understand the math problem. And if the math looks good, move ahead. All right, number 2, people hiring. To do it or not, or who to choose. So in earlier episodes, I talk about core values. I think it's super important knowing who you are and who you want, meaning do they fit your culture? So that's the first most important thing for me, is does someone meet our core values? Because if they don't hit our core values, honestly, I don't care how smart or talented they are. If there's a conflict there, I'm just delaying a problem if I bring someone on. It never fails. If we bring on someone because of the talent or background or expertise, it fails often. So for me, making sure they fit the values, because oftentimes if they have our values, I can teach them anything. Because part of our values is someone that's willing to learn, they strive for excellence, and we live in the technology world, so things are constantly changing anyways. So the experience only weighs so much. I'm looking up for someone that's willing to embrace and learn and have a good attitude, and they're good to work with. Right? And so make sure that they hit your core values of who you are and what you're looking for. Then it goes into things like we follow EOS. So the get it, want it, capacity to do it. Meaning the job that you're hiring, do they get that position? Do they understand what it's going to entail? Do they understand what it's going to take? Do they understand the responsibilities, right, that position's going to entail? Then do they want it? Do they actually want to do that work? Or do you feel that they're finding, well, I can do that, and they feel like they only want certain parts of that job, right? So get it? Do they understand it? Do they want it? Do they actually want the job you're offering? Or do they have their own perspective of what that job is going to be? And then do they have the capacity to do it? Do they have the time? Do they have the resources? Do they actually have the skill? Do they have the talent? That might be tougher to judge. That's where you start looking at, portfolio. If it was a design work or marketing, what jobs have they done? Do they actually have the ability to do what you're looking for? And again, check mark, check mark, check mark. You want all three before you hire someone. If you're trying to question when to hire someone, it goes back to, again, this is a chart of what would this person do if you got the person you wanted, right? A little bit of this decision making is envision whatever you're looking at doing, that you've done it, that you've made the decision. So close your eyes and picture, hire this person, they can do this job. What does that look like? How does your day change? How does your company change? What things are they doing, right? That's freeing you up or providing value to the customer? Is it generating revenue? Is it removing stress off you, making your home life better, right? So make sure that if you got that person, all those things line up with your end goal for hiring that position. Meaning, is it going to allow your business to scale? Are you feeling a customer service gap where you can create a better experience for your customers so your customers won't leave you? Or you'll create raving fans with that extra resource. So you got to have an end goal of not what you're doing, but the result of what you're doing. So the result of from changing technology to the result of hiring a person, what's the end goal of that person? I'm assuming your goal isn't just to hire someone. Your goal is to get a result. So what is that result? And what you have to pay for that position, is that result worth it? Yes or no? So again, there's a million scenarios you can run. I just want to give you enough information for you to think through this. And if you feel stumped, you don't know, when people get stumped, it's typically because you're not asking yourself all of the questions. So what are the questions you need to have answered so you feel confident in making a decision? Go and ask those. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is procrastination, whether that's technology, hiring someone, acquiring a company, anything you do with people. Have you ever heard I want to sleep on it. Let me think about it. Get back to me next week. What are you going to think about all week? So there's one caveat. If you're super emotional, if you're having a bad day, if you're off, if you're not in your normal state of mind, it's good to sleep on it, right? Get some rest. Make sure you don't make an emotional decision, a rash decision. So that's about the only point where I say, hey, if you're too high or low, don't make a decision. Like, wait. But outside of that, when someone says, I gotta think about it, think about what? It means they have questions they don't have. So you got to dive, what is that? You need to research. Do you need to call somebody? Do you need an extra opinion? Do you need to just, you have some more questions you need answered. So for me, when I hear that, if I'm negotiating with someone or talking with someone, I'm like, hey, what questions do you have that you're not comfortable with, right? I also don't want to pressure people, but sometimes making no decision is making a decision, and that can kill you. And so I'm always about get all the information I can, yes or no, make a decision, move on. If I don't have everything, what do I need to get? What I need to feel comfortable, then to make that decision and move forward. And I feel like you'll learn a lot more by making decisions and moving forward and then making adjustments. Number 3, acquisition. If you're going to acquire a company or you're going to sell your company. We have a lot of, I've got quite a bit of experience in this area, especially as of recent, and we've got some stuff I'm working on right now as we shoot this video. And part of the thing I've seen with different owners is the back and forth, the uncertainty, the unknown of whether they want to sell their business. Some of them are trying to figure out their future. They didn't have a succession really planned out. They have options, but it's just, they're trying to figure that out, right? And so I think one of the big things is, again, goes back to a pros, a cons, list, envisioning every scenario. So if you did it, what does your life look like? If you didn't do it, what does your life look like? And are you happy with both of them or either one of them? Or what scares you? So you've got to role play these things out as much as you can. What I do is I envision I made the decision. Everything I've done, I've run multiple scenarios and I've played it out. I wrote it out. If I did this, what are all the opportunities? What's my day look like? What does my time look like? I look at what are the risks? What is the stress? What are the unknown factors that could happen? And if that happens, how would I react? How would I battle it? Meaning, what is the real risk? Is there that much risk? Or is it just in my head? You don't want to worry the crap out of yourself about potential things that can go wrong. There's no way to live life. At least I wouldn't want to live that way. You want to be aware of it, but also, put some probability to it as well. And so when you're looking at acquiring a business, I look at, does it fit the mold of where we're trying to go? So for B&G, does it fit our business services? Does it provide value to our clients? Does it open new doors and tie into our model around recurring revenue, recurring services, something that businesses really need? If it does, that's a check mark. Then I start looking at timing. Is now the time? I look at culture. Does their team fit us culturally? Is the owner or that company team really going to fit into what we're doing? If not, that's okay if they're not going to be a part of it, if we're going to be buying them out. That may be part of that conversation. I look at resources. Do we have time to integrate that team into our team? So we have an entire team we call Black Ops that helps me evaluate these opportunities. We look at technology, we look at culture, we look at their financial situation, we look at timing, we look at how much money they want, is it realistic or not? And we try to figure out a win. We try to figure out how can this be a good deal for them, a good deal for their employees, a good team for our internal team that we already have. We want to make it a win for everyone. I don't believe business has to be who got a good deal, who got the bad deal. There's a winner and there's a loser. I don't believe that. I believe a good business deal comes through great collaboration and working together. And so far, I've done it for 16 years and it's worked out really well. I'm friends with everyone I've done business deals on, and we've all been happy with it. So for me, I'm looking for that mutual, how can we collaborate and get everyone coming out a winner? And I believe that's how business is, right? Whether it's with a customer or a vendor that we use, it's how can you help us? How can we help you? We all need to make money. How can we win together? And when you go into that approach, I think things go a lot smoother, a lot easier, and you problem solve better versus trying to win. I believe everyone should be able to win on these deals. So regarding business acquisitions, we've got an upcoming episode. I'm going to go into great detail of how we at B&G have done this several times. We have a proven process. We actually have a Trello template. If you guys use Trello, we have a template that's been downloaded thousands of times of how you handle acquisitions and mergers and things to think about. There's 5 phases we use. Envision what it could be. There's an investigate, due diligence, right, where you're really diving deep. Then it's execution, then it's integrate, and then it's grow. So I'm excited to go through that with you, and I think you'll find it very, very helpful. Thanks for watching another episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. If you have any other ideas or things you want me to go into detail, please do. This is for you guys. Until then, I look forward to talking to you guys next time.